Bro,
UFO.
we got aliens are real.
Only 2020, right? Only 2020 would we have.
So many things have happened. Oh my gosh, that just made me so happy. Yeah, I've always believed in aliens. I love them.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Nate,
And I'm Ian.
and you are listening to Nate and Ian's
Listening Hour.
Woo! It's been a while, and you know what's funny, Ian?
Yeah.
It's the last time it had been a while. We were like, "Look, guys, we promise we'll bring you new content."
We promised.
We made a promise, and hey,
Yeah.
guess what? We are delivering that. We are bringing you new content. However, a little later than we anticipated.
Look, we got a little busy. I finally went back to work. Woohoo. I'm not complaining because a lot of people I know still don't have jobs. Neither one of my roommates have jobs. But, yeah, so that's where I've been. I don't know where Nate's been, but whatever.
So I've been working, I think, the entire time.
Yeah, you
In
have.
fact, I never left to work. I am considered an essential personnel, which is
essential.
it's kind of ridiculous. But we are doing shows every Friday night, Ian.
I was going to ask what you guys were doing. That's great.
It has been fun. We've been pushing a lot of new repertoire because there's not much else to do. Typically, this time of year, we'd be very, very busy, traveling kind of all over the country. Usually, Ian and I get up to New York, and we perform in Manhattan pretty regularly, which has not happened.
Oh, I know. It's on my Facebook. The memories, the past, like every I think every July or August, the past like 5 or 6 years, there's a memory of you and I hanging out. So
It is, yeah.
Not
absolutely.
this year.
We always come up there for New York Fleet Week.
yeah, sad times. But it's
It was
okay.
canceled. It
Yeah.
was canceled.
Um,
Hashtag cancel culture.
Hashtag
Ian,
cancel-
are
Hey,
you,
and
so
I-
you're back to
I-
work.
Yeah, I was joking about it earlier, but I'm not trying to be weird, but I haven't seen my face in it's been like 4 or 5 weeks because I wake up, shower, brush my hair, whatever, and look at it and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, and then I immediately put on a mask for 10 hours and I'm not allowed to take it off. It's a restaurant. I'm lucky because the restaurant I'm in, it's a hotel. We have a giant like event area. So, a lot of people in New York, Nate, I don't know if you know, they're doing it in DC too, but like my block, everywhere in New York, like restaurants, people are trying to open up and make money, and that's great. I think it should happen, but they don't have an outdoor seating area. So they're taking up like sidewalks. They've make these like makeshift like tables out there, like surrounded by like a boundary thing. And that's great, still, they only have like 3 or 4 tables. I'm lucky, we have like 30 tables and this covering. But yeah, I wear a mask for like 10 hours straight. It's hot. And I need to shave because this is what I see most of. So
I can tell you, at least it hasn't been in the 90s for the past 30 days.
Oh, wait. It has.
It is ridiculously hot here in the Northeast Corridor.
There were, 3 or 4 people the past 3 or 4 days at work, had heat stroke and like almost like fainted. One person fainted at work. Yeah, it's been it's so unbelievably hot, mixed with everything else. Everybody's just pissed off. So it's a good time.
Did you make fun of him for passing out?
Well, one of them.
You can be honest. Yeah. So wait, I have to wear a mask at work if I'm not in my office, right? If I'm in my office and it's just me, like whatever, I can take my mask off.
Yeah.
So I find that if I'm in a meeting, we wear masks. If I am walking around, if I go to the chow hall, right, you wear a mask, not while you're eating. Physical impossibility. But I'm probably only masked, I'd say 20% of the time. Where you are masked sounds like about 98% of the time.
I would honestly, I think I told you earlier, I would say 99. Like I even have to wear it when I go to the bathroom because the guests from the outside restaurant, like we use the same bathroom. People have been sent home. Nobody's been fired yet, but people have been sent home because they like. Hey man, I'm trying to talk here.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yep.
But no, people, because people pull it down like people made fun like wear like a chin strap or just pull it down like here. That's not doing anything.
No.
But yeah, it's about 99 point something % of the time. I think it's my new favorite feeling because I drive to work and I get in the car and I take it off and I just sit there for like 30 seconds with the AC blowing. It feels really good. So I will never, I never wanted to be a doctor or anything, but those people wearing, people go through like 15 to 30 hour surgeries, wearing masks. I'll never make fun of doctors. Not that I have made fun of doctors ever, but I will never envy them because that is, I wear it for 9 or 10 hours. It's awful.
You are now just able to share in this pain with them.
Yeah, I didn't think that I'd have to do anything like this, but yeah, it's yeah.
Hey, isn't it weird that people are like, I'm not going to wear a mask? Like, why? Why?
I've been in so many Facebook arguments, and this is not we'll get into this later, but it's not a political thing for where I'm talking about because it is on both sides. I have people who are not wearing masks. I'm like, what? It doesn't it's ridiculous. And I'm lucky at work because we're wearing the N95 masks, which are like 90% keep everything in, as compared to like.
Is that what the 95 stands for? Like
no.
Is it IN95? Like N95?
No, it's like KN95, like the letters KN. But no, like
I wonder
the
what
cloth
that stands for.
Yeah, I'll put the things up, but the N95s keep out like 80 or 90% of what is this
pollutants?
Called? Yeah,
air.
Like the cloth masks keep out like 50% or something, 40 or 50. So yeah, I'm lucky that like my restaurant has the N95s. So,
woo. We are just lucky people. I feel for you.
More
Ian.
lucky.
I'm sorry, but
yeah.
I know. I'm sorry, I talked over you. I apologize.
No, I was gonna say, we're more lucky than I think some people were about to talk about. So,
well, I can tell you that wearing masks for 12 hours a day not the best. However, hey, baseball is back. Baseball's back.
Yeah. I've never been so unenthusiastic about that.
Well, I mean, just because the Tigers don't have a good roster, why are you?
Let's. Okay. What are your Braves? What's the Braves record? I know we're only 4 games in. What's your record?
We're 5 games in, Ian. And the Braves, the Atlanta Braves, are 2-3.
Oh, Tigers are 3-2.
Wow, a whole game back from the Detroit Tigers if they were in the same division.
Every game, it's 60 games. One game
it is
over is.
It's fascinating to see how this sprint is going to go. Like the world champion Washington Nationals, who didn't even win their division last year, are 1-4.
And I can't remember the exact stat, but after 60 games in 2019, they were like 20 and 40. It was awful. So you think back and then they had an incredible second half. You can't have a slow start. Nope. I don't think anybody's going to who's going to win. I think the best teams will prevail because they know that there is no second half. Like this is it. But it will be fun to watch, man. I mean, I'm calling right now that some weird team, probably not my Tigers, but like the Pirates or the I'm blanking, the Angels, who are like we're supposed to be good. Are some random team is gonna make the playoffs and get all the way.
So
call.
Mike Trout might have his first playoff win. I don't even know if Mike Trout has been arguably the best player in Major League Baseball. I don't think he's ever been in the playoffs.
I think he's been in the playoffs, but no, they got Anthony Rendon. He was out for the first 2 or 3 games. His first game, he hits a home run. I think he'll contribute. But Shohei, I don't know. Now we're just talking baseball. But Shohei came back and gave up 5 runs in his first pitching appearance and didn't get a single out. So they have their ups and downs, but
although that guy can hit For a pitcher, like, good on him.
He can hit, but he is recovering from the Tommy John surgery, which I've never been through, but it's ridiculous to go through. But I'd say, just have him DH, just use him as a DH or whatever. So
they're saying that these new rules, right, are probably going to stick, and look, it's a small sample size, but I have a pretty cool stat. And Major League Baseball history was made in the third game of the season.
I think I heard about this, but I can't remember. Tell me.
So Dansby Swanson, who is a Vanderbilt guy, right? He played his baseball at Vandy, national championship team, I believe. Yeah, he was a national championship at Vandy. He became the first hitter in Major League Baseball history to lead off an inning with an RBI single.
Yeah.
And the reason being is the Braves went into extras. He was leading off, the automatic runner on second, had an RBI single, line drive straight up the middle, and he's in the record books. Look, that's pretty neat.
And that's weird. That is very, very neat. And it's weird, I don't know if they won the game, but we just talked about Shohei Ohtani. He was in the record books now. He was the first automatic runner. The Angels won his extra innings.
Nice.
The first extra innings game of the season. So he was the first designated runner at second. So there we go. I didn't. Yeah.
And forever etched in Major League Baseball history in allure. In like 15 years, it's going to be a trivia question, and
absolutely
Jeopardy or something.
I got a quick little fun thing too, because you just said about Dansby Swanson. Slippy.
Check the briefcase. Maybe it's on there.
Samsonite. Dansby. That's nobody before we started recording. That's like the third or fourth Dumb and Dumber quote we've had in just tonight. Okay. But no, we're talking about the Tigers. So they're playing the Royals right now. Mm-hmm. And Nate, this is not a diss. I think Patrick Mahomes. I've never met him. Seems like a great human being. He's obviously a great football player.
Yeah.
But this is a fun little fact. Patrick Mahomes. I'm only saying this because the Tigers are playing the Royals right now. They started yesterday, tonight, and tomorrow. Patrick Mahomes was drafted by the Detroit Tigers, my boys, in 2014 in the 37th round. Now you know that he's now one of the co-owners of the Kansas City Royals.
Well, I was going to say, so his father was a Major League Baseball player. He was a pitcher for like 4 different Major League Baseball teams.
Pat Mahomes.
And when he signed this contract, which is over, I think it's $500 million. I think over like 13 seasons. Yeah. That's if he hits all incentives, bonuses, playoff money, etc. They were, a lot of people were talking about silly things he could buy, right? He could buy ownership in sports teams. Well, that's what he chose to do. So he owns, what was it, Ian, you said 5% of the Kansas City Royals?
I don't actually know the number. But yeah, he's one of the co-owners. And that's not even the end of my little thing here. It was I think the Tigers tweeted it or put it on Instagram, but the day he becomes one of the co-owners of the Royals, he lost to the Tigers, the team that drafted him, and he's now 0-1 as an owner to the team who originally drafted him in the Major League Baseball. I thought that was it's a fun little weird thing. The day he buys a baseball team, he loses to the team that drafted him.
I can tell you, I think things worked out just fine for old Pat.
I think he's doing great. MVP,
and I think it's cool, like the tangent. I think it's really neat, right? That contract that he signed is not player friendly. Like that is not a player friendly contract that he signed.
Not at all.
But he loves the city, right? He loves the people in Kansas City. He wants, that security to say, hey, you know what? He's already got an NFL MVP under his belt. He's
Super Bowl.
What is he, a third-year guy? He's got a $500 million contract. Like, it's awesome that he's doing this. And he just, it's a guy that is just willing to go out and prove himself year in and year out. Yeah, I think it's pretty neat.
Like I said, that wasn't a dig at him. I just thought it was fun. I think I'll say I like him. I thought it was funny. So, yeah.
Like he's the new age quarterback, right? He's one of the new guys. He's the new class. of quarterbacks, because the Mannings and like Brady's playing, but he's not going to play for very much longer, even though he says he wants to play to like 43. But these Phillip Rivers, for example, like Drew Brees, they're all getting older, and
No,
now we've got
it's
the
him
Pat
and Lamar
Mahomes, we've got the
Jackson.
Dak Prescotts, we've got right, and it's this new it's a new class of quarterbacks coming up that we're going to be able to watch for a decade plus. It should be exciting.
It's gonna be fun.
I have one more kind of little bitty tidbit of baseball tidbit. This comes from USA Today. And so I don't know if you saw the Yankees, which, okay, side note, the Yankees are, and look, I don't like saying this, but the Yankees roster is scary good. They are scary good.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you got somebody, I know, because now he's fully healthy, but I've seen him in person, but Giancarlo Stanton is, the zombie apocalypse happens tomorrow, I will find him and I will make him be my best friend.
Right.
That dude is huge.
Well, when you get $300 million to hit 220 but 50 bombs a year, you know who I think is bigger, and I don't know, is dude, Aaron Judge is a monster.
Aaron Judge is taller. He's like 6'7". I'm just talking about Stanton's, like, his thighs. I mean, I'm skinny, but his thighs are like the size of my entire body put together. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Keep going. Yeah, the Yankees, I hate them, but
that's my vote. If I had one, I think they're getting a ring this year. Okay. So, the Yankees and the Nationals were the first game, right, for Major League Baseball. It happened last Thursday. And being in D.C., Dr. Anthony Fauci threw out the first pitch. Ian, did you see Dr. Fauci's first pitch?
I did, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't care. I don't care. People are making fun of it. Yes, it was awful, but there have been worse. The man is like 79 years old.
God bless him.
And you got to give him a break.
But not many worse.
You got to give him a break. There have been worse from like rappers. I've seen those. They're like in their 30s who should be able to throw a baseball. This man is 79. I don't care your political beliefs or whatever. But people are bashing him. I'm like, no, not everybody throws a baseball every day, so.
But if you're going to throw out a first pitch, you need to practice. The ball does not need to end up between home plate and first base up the line. That is where it ended up. Dr. Fauci, I think it's great. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. However, what's interesting about this is Topps, the baseball card company, took a picture of this, and it is now the record. It holds the record for top sales in 24 hours of any baseball card ever sold, with 51,512 people buying this Topps baseball card. Second place was 19,396 for Vlad Guerrero Jr.'s card, which I believe was he was a rookie. When was he a rookie? Not too long ago, right?
Well, last year was his first full season, so 2 years ago he came in halfway through. So
okay, so his first hit, they sold 19,000 of those cards.
Oh.
Dr. Fauci outsold Vlad by 30,000 cards.
I'm proud of him. As he should.
I'm proud of him. Yeah, 100%. It'll be interesting, though, to see how this season progresses. Look, we will obviously keep everyone updated. Hey, also, did you see what happened? So, the Astros, right? Cheating scandal.
Yeah, I hate them.
They're playing the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
LA Dodgers. Guy, and I don't know the names.
I do. I will tell you.
Go.
No, are you talking about Joe Kelly versus Carlos Correa and Alex Bregman? He threw at both of them. Because Joe Kelly, this is weird. I know I say this a lot, but I've talked to my dad about Joe Kelly for years. He was on the Red Sox. He's been on a bunch of different teams, but in 2017, Joe Kelly is a reliever, or he was a reliever for the Red Sox, and of course the Astros beat the Red Sox in the I think the ALCS in 2017. And then they won the World Series that year. But so now Joe Kelly's a Dodger, and that was also the same year that they beat the Dodgers in the World Series. I loved it. I don't really agree with him. What he, did you see he made like
the pouty face?
The pouty face at Correa.
You know what though? What he's trying to say in my mind, he's like, "I'm sorry you didn't know that my slider was coming because you're no longer stealing signs." He got an 8-game suspension, Ian, out of 60 games.
Dude, I didn't know that.
8-game suspension. In the Astros, who cheated in the World Series, didn't receive any suspension. None of them.
That is ridiculous. All of that. I was just about to say, I know that the general manager and the manager were both suspended from baseball for a year, but the players got nothing. And I know he did say, like, he made the pouty face and he said nice swing to Carlos Correa, but 8 games.
I know.
Dude,
that's ridiculous.
I have a little tidbit about Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball. But
yes,
if he brought that on Joe Kelly, Joe Kelly's done some. I've seen him. I've watched videos of him fighting and throwing at people. He's a competitor, but if Rob Manfred brought that on to Joe Kelly, that is ridiculous. I will say it. That is, oh my! I didn't know that, man. Now I'm upset. Oh my gosh!
I love it. So baseball, it's back. Other sports are coming back. We had, I think, hockey today. Basketball is coming up. So we will make sure we keep you updated as much as we can. With two guys that work full-time that do this just for fun. We'll try and keep you guys updated, especially in the world of MLB.
Yeah, but, maybe by next episode there will be no sports. That's my guess. Maybe in 2 weeks there will be no sports again.
Hey, hopefully that's what happened to the Florida Marlins. Miami Marlins.
Miami Marlins, dude. That pisses me off too. Sorry for that language, but some of the guys knew about it and didn't say anything. Well, I don't want to go on about that, but that's unacceptable. I mean, that's like Rudy Gobert, the basketball player who touched all the mics. He was the first one. He apologized later. These players need to be. Let's pull it full circle. If Joe Kelly is suspended for making a pouty face, the Marlins players need to, after they test negative twice, you're suspended for the rest of the season. That's ridiculous.
But Miami needs all the help they can get.
Oh, of course. They're worse than my boys, the Tigers.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on, shall we? Hey, Ian.
Hey, Nate.
Can we talk about conspiracy theories real quick?
Oh, dude, I love them. I love them so much.
Okay. And they're fun, right? They're fun theories. And most of the time they're ridiculous. And the fact that some of them grow legs blows my mind.
Well, okay. I like I said, I love conspiracy theories. I do jump in the rabbit hole sometimes and like have that weird, it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like just on my computer and I'm like, wait, dude, this might be real.
Yes.
But then I wake up and I'm like, well, okay, probably not. But yeah, I think they're fun to look into, so.
Like the COVID theory, right? Like the COVID is now like a conspiracy theory.
That has to stop. And I'm not trying to bring the mood down, but like seeing people and having friends like die from this and like,
there's nothing great about it.
It's definitely not fake. It's not a
No. The virus isn't fake. What I'm saying is the conspiracy theory is like, no, this didn't get accidentally released from a viral control center. That's probably not at all what it's called in Wuhan, China, but yet it's, it is a man-made virus that seems by all accounts to have hot weather doesn't kill it. This is not what I wanted to talk about. But there's some things about it that it's like, it's interesting. That's interesting, right?
Yeah.
One that is not interesting, and I think you're an idiot if you think that it is true. Ian, flat Earth.
Oh, that's a good one, dude. That's so. I love it. You can go, but real quick. I remember last year on a train ride home from a gig I was playing. I was on my phone, and I just did another deep dive into this. Somebody posted about flat Earth people. It's so fun. It literally it brings me joy to read these things because it's ridiculous.
Yep, it is. It is not the. It's not great. They think not only is the world flat, however, there is an ice cap that holds the world's oceans in. Right, it's an ice wall, like Game of Thrones style
Yeah. Okay.
ice wall. I have to tell you that I know a flat earther, which is why this is it hits close to home. The first thing that I asked is, how then does gravity work? And the answer that was given to me is, we were on this plane, right? Like this flat, like I think of a plate, and the rim of the plate being ice caps, which is Antarctica, which they don't believe exists. Like, why? Their theory is like, well, why can't we go to Antarctica? It's like, well,
We can't.
You can.
I have a good friend who lives there right now.
The Air Force flies over Antarctica, and they said, well, no, this is not true, and that the Earth, which is a flat plate, is just rising at the same force of that would be gravity. Right? There's more. Like, I asked him a simple question, like, how do seasons work? Maybe the tilt of the Earth's axis. Nope. It is absolutely not that, but it's this. They have an answer, Ian, for everything.
Oh, dude.
And I think it goes back to that saying, right? If you don't believe in something, you're going to fall for anything.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't personally met a flat earther, which I think is a great name, flat earther. But I do, I love it. Hey, you flat earther. But I just don't understand. I guess they would think that, like, the proof, like, from like video and photos from satellites and whatever, like, of the Earth. I guess they think that's
they're
fake
all
too.
doctored. Yeah,
Yeah. They're doctored, or I've heard that they're not even. Well, no, we've never been to space, or there's no satellites, or there's no space station. Okay.
Yes.
That's cool. I mean, there's physical proof that there is, but okay. I love it, dude. I want to meet one, man. I hate just reading about it online. I want to meet somebody.
They have a convention. You know what we should do? Next year, we should do a live episode, or an episode of Nate and Ian's Listening Hour at the Flat Earthers Convention, and just ask, like, we have to research more than maybe we did for this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I'm just saying that I think it's a ridiculous theory. Why would you believe that? But we could do a deep dive into flat Earth, and just go and get these people's opinions.
We should. And comment, send us an email, whatever, if you want to. Because Nate and I will be on camera, so we'll need somebody to hold the video camera. So if you want to be our videographer, camera holder for that day, all expense paid trip to wherever this flat Earth thing is. Nate's paying for it.
I'm paying for it via your bank account, not yours, but the individual that's coming with us.
Yeah. He'll book the ticket in your name, and then you pay for it.
Right.
But yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. I'm totally down.
So we're gonna try and do that. Ian, tell me, do you have any conspiracy theories that kind of irk you?
I do not.
Okay, fantastic. I have one more. Then
I'm kidding. I do. See, I was thinking about doing the flat Earth one because I've heard about it so much, but I decided to just do one that I looked for one that I hadn't really heard of, and this is short and sweet, but I thought it was so. Let me use the right word. I thought it was so dumb, and I'm not making fun of this organization or this website, but it's just so dumb.
Really, really dumb, for real.
For real. So mine is. Oh, it's dark. So mine is, the Beatles never existed. The band from London, the Beatles.
No one believes that.
Never
No
existed.
one believes this.
People do, man. There's a whole website. Here's the thing. I can't read my handwriting, dude. I'm sorry.
It's fine. You need to write better.
Dude, what is that second? Oh, sorry. So I'm not kidding, dude. The crazy. Oh, yeah. Sorry. The crazy claims argue that the four Beatles, Paul, George, Ringo, and John, were actually clones or body doubles.
Of who? They were cloning of body doubles of who? The original Beatles?
Well, no, they were body doubles. So the theorists claim to have visible proof that the stars, the four Beatles, differ throughout the years. So there's no way they can be the same people. So they thought that maybe there was a band like that recorded the songs, and then every time they played live, they got like stunt doubles, people who looked almost the exact same to like make the appearance, or when they were seen like walking to their airplane or a bus, they were four just actors.
Did you see the Beatles? Did you see the Beatles following? Look, if I'm that famous, I might have a stunt double walk into a plane for me. I mean, I'm going to play the shows, right?
Yeah, but they really think that this. Well, here's the thing: the skeptics questioned whether the difference is seen in the photo, because they were going from like the photos, like they were looking at photos throughout the years, and they're like, oh, this John Lennon from, I don't know, the year 1967 doesn't look like the same John Lennon from 1971. So the skeptics question whether the differences seen in the photos are simply due to like editing, in the photos, like whatever.
These
However,
exist.
Dory, the founder of this website, stated that even if one or two photos are doctored, and maybe one of the members had surgery, why don't they all match? She also claims that there were three John Lennons, different actors who were seen in public. And they go on to say this is about the pictures. Oh, the space between the eyes is different in each picture, or his nose changed significantly throughout the years. That's all I wrote on it. It went on for like 75 pages, and I was like, I can't, because they had info about like, okay, well, here's George Harrison's all the stuff that we found. This was wrong in this picture. Yeah, here's the thing. You look at a picture from like I said, 1967 to 1971. That's 4 years. People look different after 4 years. Stuff changes. Maybe different facial hair. Your forehead gets bigger. Stuff happens.
It happened to Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
And just while he was playing Major League Baseball,
Yeah.
somehow his head size grew from like 7 1/4 to over an 8.
Yeah.
People,
their bodies change.
No reason why that would change so drastically. I'm sure there's no reason.
But yeah, these people they literally think that the Beatles might have been a bunch of different musicians like who recorded the songs, and then they were just actors who got paid like 2 or 3 different.
Sure. Yeah.
That's
ridiculous claim. Ian,
Yo.
What is your favorite Beatles song?
I thought you were gonna say who is my favorite Beatle. Favorite Beatles song? That's like there's a no-brainer on that one. It's the Beatles, so it's all of them.
Yeah, they did have some good ones.
I can't. I know that's a stupid answer, but I don't have a favorite song because I could put on like any record and listen to it without skipping a song. So
right, yeah, just let the record play. Right?
Oh yeah.
Interestingly enough, this past week I was doing some research on top grossing musical artists of all time. Number 1 on the list, I guess it shouldn't be surprising,
Madonna?
Paul McCartney. Ian.
Paul McCartney, yeah.
1.2 billion.
Yeah, well,
pretty decent. Not a bad living.
That's what you get for being in one of the biggest bands of all time, writing some of the songs.
Well, yeah.
And then still, he's still playing, and he plays on a bunch of other songs, other people's songs. Yeah, I mean, the guy's amazing. Keep him around for a while, if we can.
Hey, one last conspiracy theory, and I'm just going to read a quote because it's not really a theory as much as it is just interesting.
Yeah.
So here's the quote, and this is the title of the article is former UFO task force consultant says they're holding craft, quote, not made on this earth. Now, I first saw this in a New York Times article. It's coming out declassifying that the government is finally admitting that they have a craft that was not made from things on this earth. So here's the quote. Finally, after waiting 30 years, the government admits to possessing alien craft. Time will tell as to what happens next. Personally, I doubt they will disclose much more. It wouldn't be surprised if they issue a, quote, correction and say their statement was an error. In any case, I never thought I'd see this day. Thanks so much to all of you that supported me throughout the years. On another note, this is the only social media account I have. No Facebook, Twitter, etc. There are apparently lots of imposters out there. Now, Ian.
Bro!
UFO.
We got aliens are real.
Only 2020, right? Only 2020 would we have.
So many things have happened. Oh my gosh, that just made me so happy. Yeah! I've always believed in aliens. I love them. Woo! I'm sorry.
We've
I'm
talked
really
about
excited.
aliens before, but just
Yeah.
come and say hey.
Yeah,
Can you just come?
please.
I'm sure there's probably like a language thing. We'll figure that out.
No, we're good. Just come say hey.
Come say
I'm
hi.
free. I'm off Friday. Let's come hang out.
And you know what? We will give any alien listening like exclusive on Nate and Ian's listening hour.
Yeah,
You
we'll
can
give
come and interview exclusive with Ian and myself. It's an open invite.
This might be the first email I ever get. If I get an email after we post this episode and it's in a weird language, I'm gonna be so excited. All right, Nate. You brought up the political aspect. What were your exact words? I'm sorry, I forgot.
I have no idea. That was like 4 seconds ago.
Yeah, so I forgot. So on this Nate and Ian's listening hour, we don't really get into politics. But Nate brought up a good point earlier when we were talking about this episode. And here's what we want to do. If you're watching this, if you're listening to it, whatever, we want to give you a sense of, and it's a simple concept, but I don't think I don't think the U.S. is figuring this out right now. People can have just differing opinions and still come together and be best friends, hang out, and just have civil conversations. Nate and I don't know if you want to chime in, have different beliefs, have different feelings, have different political views. We did in college when we met. I never once, in my mind, I'm not exaggerating, I never once said, man, this guy sucks. No, we had conversations. They were civil. We argued. They got maybe a little heated, but not to like the point of like, I'm gonna punch you, dude. You're wrong. It was fun conversation. I listened to him. He listened to me, and it's ridiculous now that it's not. I feel like it's not possible right now for that to happen. There's so much arguing, and most of it's on frickin' the internet, which is the dumbest thing in the world. So,
Ian, I could not agree more with you. And, my stance on this, and you touched on it, is I think it is a beautiful thing to think something different than another person and to have positive dialogue between individuals, right? And I think, not only the internet, Ian, but I think the media, you look at just the media outlets, right? You have certain media outlets that cater towards Republicans. You have certain that cater towards Democrat, pushing whatever agenda that political party wants to push. And as Americans, I want to believe that we are smarter and we can see through this. However, with that being said, that is what we're fed. That we see that there's all these issues and problems in America. And guess what? There are. We have issues. We have problems. But the way to correct those is not partisan ideals. Bipartisan support, coming together, and again, just like Ian mentioned, Ian and I are not very far off politically, Ian. I'd say, and I don't want to mislabel you, right?
Yeah.
But you're fairly liberal in your political views, right?
To some extent, it's I don't know what I am now, but in the past, yes. So
Right. And I am very centered. I guess you can't lean, right? If you're in the center, you're not leaning one way or another. But I'm very center when it comes to politics. I tend to base my opinions on specific topics and not based on what a party believes, right? Because if you read like the mission statement of either party, it gets pretty egregious, right? Then if you're a part of that party, you're just supposed to be like, yep, you know what? Because I'm a Republican, I have to believe that because that's what my party platform tells me I need to believe. I disagree completely.
Yeah. And the great thing is I've seen, and I'm going back to social media, but I have seen, it's about 90% just bashing each other and people name calling. But I remember a conversation last week on Facebook. A friend posted something, and then somebody argued, who was on the different political side. But then somebody posted a fact, said like, "Hey, this is actually true. I was, I know this. Blah blah blah. Here's the website." And the person who was originally defensive said, "Oh, I didn't know that. Can you tell me more about that? I'm sorry." And then there was like 50 more comments of these people of talking, and because this person didn't just jump to conclusions and start name calling. They said, "Hey, I would love to learn something. I didn't know that, and you obviously know about this. Here's the fact. Can you tell me more about that? I'd love to learn about it." And that's what's not happening. Everybody thinks they're right. I've done it, and I'm trying to stay off of that weird social media thing of just commenting and saying like, "Nope, that's wrong. You suck." But everybody thinks they're right. And the beauty of it is, and that's why Nate and I are good friends. Just I have been wrong. I'm wrong about 90% of the time in life. The great thing is, I know it. I'm well aware. I might not say it right away, but I'm well aware, and I love to learn what I'm wrong about. And that's
what else
really,
you do, Ian?
What?
You have independent thought. You think for yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's
how can people are just following blindly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so independent. Ian, I did some research on this. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is from a publication that Berkeley puts out called The Greater Good, right? And so they came up with what their opinion were some solutions to this. One you've already mentioned. It's called intergroup contact, right? Contact hypothesis. And it suggests that getting to know each other can reduce prejudice between groups. Just getting to know each other, right?
Yeah.
Getting to know each other, similar to what you're saying when we did in college, can reduce prejudice between groups. Just get to know your fellow man, okay? That's number one.
Yeah.
Two is perspective talking, right? Is that we need to be able to see something, or at least try to see something, not from your own perspective, but from someone else's perspective, right?
Yeah.
So instead of thinking things like I am, maybe a 30-something active duty military, maybe I should see it from a corporate, 60-year-old, right? Because we're going to have different views just because of where we are. That doesn't make one of us right or one of us wrong. Let's look at different views.
Yeah.
Right? And then they say the clearest solution from the psychological literature that identify based conflicts is, I'm going to mess it up, superordinate sense of identity to bring people back together. In other words, we need a large sense of ourselves that is able to bridge smaller differences, right?
Yeah.
The American dream, the American identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps something large that no matter what we think, we can go back to that as our baseline. But that American identity, right or wrong, is being, in my opinion, kind of torn apart right now. And that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, my last thought on it is, it's going with what you were just saying. Like, there's those people. I know those. I have those friends who, mainly it's about music, but they, you bring up a band or whatever, and they're like, oh, they're terrible, and then they shut you down. They're not terrible. That's your opinion, and I have those people, but it's the same thing with politics. Same thing with conspiracy theories, whatever we're talking about, like in sports, religion. You can't just say, oh, you're wrong, and I have. Nate, you live in a big metropolis, so do I do. And I every day, on the subway not on the subway right now, but used to be on the subway, walking, down the sidewalk. You're in a bar and you hear people say that, and it's ridiculous. I want that phrase, and I'm not quoting the president. I'm not bringing it up because of him, but the phrase "you're wrong" needs to stop.
Yeah.
It needs to be more of a, well, I don't know. Let's talk about that.
Why do you think that?
Yeah. I hate you're wrong. People tell me that all the time, and I'm
discuss.
like, well, I'm not. Let's talk about it. I might be, but I don't think I am. Let's have a discussion. So that's our rant, and I'm sorry, but Nate and I are, we're best friends. We can say that. And we have differing views, and I don't care. It doesn't matter, because we can have civil conversations and random, whatever. So I don't know why that it can't happen all over the world. And I get that that's a hard thing to do, but it it's ridiculous.
I'm just glad we do have the freedoms to talk about it. And I'll put one last thing in there, that we need to vote for policies and not parties. I'm just going to say that: vote policies, not parties.
Yeah.
If we took that
me.
stance, I think we would be better off.
I should run for president.
You are not old enough.
A couple years.
Maybe.
Ian Hunt, 2030.
Is that an election year? I don't think so.
Nope. 2032.
Maybe a mid-year election, right? You can start as like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like
senator.
Like a local education board. So, hey, the last thing, because we don't want to just leave it off on like politics and yeah. Anyway, I like, that was Wave Tops. We barely got into that. We can get into it more if you'd like it. I don't know. We don't know what you guys like, because no one ever comments. We really appreciate the lack of enthusiasm here. But what I will say is, we do want to leave you with one uplifting story. Ian, this is amazing. An amazing story, and I think it gives us all a glimmer of hope. There was a 103-year-old woman from Massachusetts who beat coronavirus. And do you know what she did to celebrate?
What?
She drank a Bud Light.
She's As you should.
Right?
That's amazing.
103.
Yeah.
And when she when she made it through everything, she said, I'm just gonna celebrate this with my old Bud Light.
Hey, what, you said she lives in Boston or Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not sure exactly where. She was in a nursing home. Was one of the first cases in the nursing home.
Love it. I love it. That makes me so happy.
Yeah. So, we'll try and continue these uplifting stories. At least at the end, we'll have one. Ian will do it next week. We'll have one for to carry us through. Hey, as always, we really appreciate you guys listening all the way to the end, especially you, Vishay Conley. That's test number 2, and we'll see what happens next week. We look forward to updating you on many things, including Major League Baseball. Ian, always, it's a pleasure.
Always. Juices.